Hi guys, how you going?
Good. How are
Cheers.
you?
Thanks for coming.
Welcome.
Can you introduce yourselves, please?
My name is Michael Pavlov.
Yes.
I am a real estate agent in the local market of Canterbury, Bankstown.
Yep. Where specifically we're at,
I work for Pace Property Agents,
and they're located in.
Greenacre.
Cool. David,
And I'm David.
how are you, Dave?
I have an real estate agency in Liverpool called Mason J.
Nice. How did we all meet?
So we met.
Yeah.
We met at Ray White Bankstown
Yep.
at what was my first real estate role. Yeah. So that's where we met back in about 2011.
Yep.
You guys met
At your wedding.
Wow. How many years ago was
in
that?
2015.
That's,
Wow.
That's how
So
long it's
that's
been married.
almost 10 years.
And then you got jealous of Dave and me, and you wanted to be a real estate agent.
I
True?
can tell you
How long have you done real estate for?
coming up to 5 years.
5 years. How come I thought 10 years?
5.
5
that
years.
good?
No,
That's
he's
that good.
really good.
No,
yeah.
not even.
You look very sharp. Why are you wearing a suit and we're not? Like you're embarrassing us.
Still work. It's a working day
Okay. Where were you before?
in the office.
Okay, nice. Again, thank you guys for coming. It's about people getting to know who we are, what we do, and everyone thinks real estate agents are bad people. Are we bad people?
I hope not.
I hope not.
You guys go, yeah, we are.
There's some people can be questionable.
Yeah. Everyone in our industry needs to know, or everyone that watches our industry needs to know about you guys more. So what is it that you do outside of real estate? You guys are both family men,
Correct.
beautiful fathers. Dave was the first to be a father.
Yes.
Good on you. Your kids are all grown up.
Oh, they're growing up. Yeah,
Yeah.
7, 6, and 3.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So they grow fast, man.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
yourself?
Got a 3-year-old daughter and one on the way.
Very good. Very good. Has real estate affected having a family?
The only weekend we obviously that gets busy for us is a Saturday. That's
Yeah.
as we call it our game day. You know, opens and auctions, right? So I think that's the only day that would affect my time with my girls.
Yeah.
You know, my hours could be anywhere be say in the office by 8:30,
Yeah.
and
Is that every Saturday?
every Saturday,
Yeah.
and then I'm possibly home by 5:30.
Okay.
You know, it's just subject to if I've got auctions or not.
Of course.
I don't know if we've said it before, but
Yeah.
I've always said to anyone that I've worked with is real estate becomes life and life is real estate.
That's so true.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's so
And
true.
It's such a huge mental game where our brains just don't stop ticking.
It doesn't. And like
even-
if you get a phone call at 9 o'clock, 8:30 at night, you're expected to answer.
Yeah.
It becomes your life. It really does. Yeah.
And even if you're out at a cafe or on a Sunday and you hear someone selling, our brains just straight away tunes, just straight to that.
All
So
your personal cards on me
do you,
everywhere.
do you get your business, do you carry around your business cards everywhere you go?
It's in my car. It's in both my
So you tell the person, just stop, I have to go to my car?
If it happens, I would do it.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
You've seen it change, real estate?
heaps. Yeah.
What are the biggest changes that you've seen?
Our buyers are much more educated.
Yep.
We've seen the rates move up and down, like peaks and troughs. We've seen a lot of slow markets and a lot of hot markets. Most of all, we've seen prices just constantly going up and up and up.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's all in all is quite similar, quite the same.
You said something so true. Buyers are more educated now. Mick, you probably
I
seen
do
as
agree with
well.
that as well.
How do you think they're more educated now?
Well, they've got more tools. I mean, everything is just there's more podcasts. There's YouTube universities getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Everyone's just becoming an expert in advice. Giving. There's free advice everywhere. Every I guess broker is now giving more advice.
So it's just absolutely everyone, eh?
But not
Everyone.
just that as well. Remember, our agency, we run auctions every single weekend.
Yeah.
It could be between 5 to 7 auctions per weekend.
Yeah.
Do we see the same consistently buyers? There's a possibility.
Yeah.
So a buyer will go to one auction, they'll get outbidded, and they'll go to something similar. And that's just them educating themselves, because if it's a similar property,
Yeah.
they'll know that there is a gap.
Yeah.
And I think just to add to that, if you're spending this much money and you're making this much repayments, and I guess property prices are reaching these prices, you automatically or you naturally become more educated in every aspect.
Am I far-fetched to think that a buyer knows what their house is worth without calling you about it?
Everyone's looking for some sort of like guidance,
Yeah,
so some sort of direction.
yeah,
So it's almost like, give us a reason to become interested in this property.
yeah.
Like I need you to convince me.
In all my time in me learning, and when a buyer calls me to say what's the price guide, do you know what I think they're asking? Am I wasting my time?
That's exactly what it is.
And a lot of the times I try to sell properties not with a price guide, because that price that we come up with can be either misleading them or scaring them away.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I believe that, but look, I've recently started using a couple of all my campaigns with some guides. I think at this stage is if the guide's too high, you get no foot traffic. If the guide's at a certain point where people see value, they'll come and see it,
Yeah.
and you get the extra foot traffic. Foot traffic's important to our campaigns because
Yeah.
it gives us an indication of. It gives us. I would say. Let me repeat that. The foot traffic that we get coming in, it gives us the opportunity to ask the right questions during the open home, and we can try and educate the buyers to sort of understand, having understand their situations, where they're at in terms of their budgets. Is there a reason why they're buying in this particular location? Do they have family close by?
I actually agree a lot with Dave. I think buyers are a lot more educated
They
now.
are.
And everything that we try to do, I guess, to understand and educate them more, is important. Is educating the buyer more important than educating your owner?
I think it goes hand in hand.
Okay.
It's two different educations, but you have a duty of care for the buyer, but you also have an obligation to your vendors. You're hired by your vendors. But I mean, there's some campaigns. There's very few. But what if there was a campaign where a vendor said, I don't want to use a price guide. What would you do?
Yeah.
Then it's up to you to articulate a message in that conversation and converse with these buyers in a way where you can actually convince them that, mate, you're not wasting your time, right? And you should actually, I guess, spare 10, 15 minutes to inspect the property.
I think that's
So
the
then
most
it
important
comes
thing.
down to you as the agent on how you actually convey that message.
I tell a lot of buyers, I'm not too sure about you guys, but I tell a lot of buyers, not trying to throw us under the bus, but I tell a lot of buyers, don't worry about what the agent says. You need to see if you like the home first.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important. And they always say, but what about if it goes for more than what we have to spend? I said, if it does or if it doesn't, you just need to see it first. Because if you like it, then continue on with it. What do you guys think about that?
That's exactly how I do things. Yeah, even without a guide, even with or without a guide, it's important that they come through and they give us their honest opinion of where they see value. Feedback's important to us because we pass that feedback onto our vendors, right?
And to be honest, I think that's the most important, where a buyer is honestly most honest with us as possible, that we're going to help them purchase a property. It's not like we're actually doing all this to try and take all their money. We're actually trying to help them buy a property. At the same time, our owners, who, like Dave said, trust us and have signed with us, our obligation is to them. So we need to give them as much feedback as possible. Things that me or the owner didn't know that the buyer does like or doesn't like. Where were you before you came here?
I was working for a nutraceutical company that sold vitamins and supplements to health food stores and pharmacies.
Okay. So long story short, were you a drug dealer?
Yes.
Okay.
Natural one.
Okay. And you wanted to join real estate.
I actually didn't want to join real estate.
What happened?
This happened back in 2020.
Yep.
I was on my way. I actually got made redundant in 2020. I took an optional. It was an optional.
But I did try to convince him for a long time to get into real estate.
He did.
I remember
He
that,
did.
yeah.
It was
I actually
like
remember
2-3
this,
years
yeah.
ago,
Yeah.
like 2-3 years before that. But the thing is, I was a state manager at that time, so I didn't want a transaction or shift to be a real estate agent at that time. But in saying that as well, it was back in 2020 where COVID happened. My wife and I, we came back from overseas from a wedding and seeing family over in Singapore. And as I said, I got made redundant, and I was looking for a job for about 3 to 4 months. At that time, nobody was hiring.
Really?
And then I don't know, I kind of opened up to Dave. Dave's my best mate, as you know, right? So I opened up to Dave and I said to Dave, X, Y, Z, this is happening. And he goes, why don't you look up real estate? And I went, I don't know if I can do it.
Were you still at Ray White when this happened?
He wasn't.
Where was I? I was.
No, you weren't.
I left.
You were at
I left at that
Stone. You were at Stone, I think it was.
Yeah, so I left, and then that's.
So we never worked all
because this was
then?
during
No.
COVID. Because I left in end of 18.
Yeah.
And you went to Stone for a bit.
Yeah,
Stone down at Woodport.
Camden, yeah.
That was a long time ago.
So
Yeah.
you need a passport to go. No, so yeah.
And then you hooked him up with Ray White.
Mm.
I was really, I don't know. How do I say this? I wasn't too sure about it because obviously what I was getting paid to what he told me what I was going to get paid was a big difference. It was a massive. And the process that he was telling me what I had to do.
It took a long time.
It took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Like for the first 2 years, you have to understand is that I took a risk for the first 2 years. And I'm glad I did take that risk. It was,
of course.
For that too. Because my firstborn, Olivia, she was born in 2021. But, she was coming at that time.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous. I was really,
Yeah.
to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I was getting paid $48,000 a year at the age of 32, coming from a 6-figure job.
Yeah.
That's what was my concern,
It's a big concern, yeah.
And I had mortgage on me.
And then you have agents.
Wife wasn't.
And the agents tell you, but we make good commissions.
Yeah. I would look at the board. We will look at the board.
I know.
We'll look at the board and go, how are these boys doing it? But 2 years I prospected hard,
And by prospecting, what does that mean?
door knocking, obviously for at least minimum 6 hours a day.
Wow.
Right. I would try and hit up a minimum 3 to 4 streets a day.
Wow.
And that was consistent.
Yeah.
And then obviously our job is
Do you
to
mean
build a
door
pipeline.
knocking?
Door knocking, yeah.
Or
I'll start from 10.
letterbox drops?
I'll start from 10.
Yeah.
So obviously at that time I wasn't associate to anyone.
Yeah.
I wasn't associate to anyone. And whoever needed drops to be done, I would go and do it.
Good on you.
Yeah. So
And was there a lot of cold calls? Is there still a lot of cold calls?
There was at the time, yes. I would ask for more work
Yeah.
because I wanted to sort of see what I could do. If that job did fit for me and my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And here I am today.
I've got another question coming up. So I might ask it now. If not real estate, what would you be doing?
Ooh, I don't know.
You know what's funny? I've
honest with
asked
you.
a few people that question.
I'll be
Everyone
very
is like
honest with you.
shocked.
I would probably still stay in that industry, what I was in before.
Yeah.
In the health industry.
Yeah.
In the health sector, because obviously there's still at that time there was a lot of connections that I had with competitors.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would probably be my only.
Okay. Dave, I know he's thinking about it. If you didn't do real estate, actually, before you tell us, where did you come? What was your background? Because I remember before real estate, what were you doing before real estate?
So we always had family cafes growing up, and so we had the two at Marrickville and Redfern, and so growing up throughout high school and after school, it was always working there, and then I tried to get into HR recruitment. Probably went to about easy 20 to 30 interviews, got knocked out by all. Yeah.
Wow.
And then finally got accepted by one. Did it for 2 weeks and I hated it. The manager was just, one of those ones that's always looking over your shoulder. 2 days in and she expected me to know everything. So I hated it. And I was having lunch with one of the guys there, and I told him, mate, I just hate it. It's not what I thought. I don't know what to do. And he goes, why don't you get into real estate?
Oh, he's suggested.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So he had only been there for 2 months,
Okay.
and he said, "Why don't you try real estate?" I was like, "Well, what do you really do in real estate? You know, like apart from stating the obvious, like what is it that you really do?" And he goes, "Mate, you just drive nice cars and have coffee all day."
That's what everyone thinks of us, eh?
And
what they
that's
all
all he
think.
said. And then I was like,
He's kind of right.
all right, well let's give it a go, you know. So I caught around and I looked up all the franchises, caught them all. The only one that actually returned my call was Ray White.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So part of the recruitment team or something.
Okay.
And they asked me where I was. I was in the southwest. So they then directed me to Tony at Bankstown.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I remember Dave's first day in real estate. It was the best story ever. They gave him a street to door knock. Yeah. And when you're in real estate, it's not a 9 to 5 job.
No, of course.
So Dave, for his first day in real estate, go door knock this street. Dave did not go home until he finished the street, and it finished at 11 p.m. at night.
Did you really?
it wasn't that late.
What time was it?
It was more like it was around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Because
What street was it?
Where's David?
it was in it was in Quick Street.
Michael, where's David? He's door knocking.
So you know how that happened. So Tony gave me the whole bunch.
Yeah.
I still remember it was Quick Street, and what's it called? He said, you know, I was like, "Do you want me to finish the whole thing?" He's like, "Yeah, don't stop until you're done." So
What a loyal
Until you're
employee.
done.
Like, that's cool loyalty.
So the funny thing is, around 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I knocked on the door, spoke to this nice old lady, and she was like, "Oh, I know your boss." I was like, "How?" She's like, "Oh, I'm related to him."
Okay.
So then she ended up calling Tony, saying one of your boys just door knocked me. So then
And then
Tony
he
called
called
me
you.
around like
That's so
7:38.
funny. That's so
like, what are you
funny.
doing? I was like,
Let's
"I'm
go
door
home."
knocking." I thought that was the norm. I didn't know anything else. He's like, "No, mate, like just drop it all, you know, like the rest of it. It's too late." And the rest was
So
history.
we met for the first time in the car park.
Yeah.
You said, yeah?
So after my interview. After my second interview.
I don't think he liked me.
No, it was the
I don't
other
like
way
him.
around.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It was the other way around. Yeah.
Well, Lebanese, Vietnamese, I thought there was,
Chinese.
I thought there was going to be dramas. So I'm like, who's this Vietnamese guy?
Do you know how he first met me?
Please tell me.
Oh my God.
Please tell me.
Okay.
Please tell me.
So there was once upon a time we had a mutual friend, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was at a hospital,
Okay.
and he said to me, and he goes,
He had been
no,
organising a bus.
hang on. Don't even try.
Hey,
you were-
Dave,
I
Dave,
was
it's-
organising
wait,
the
wait,
bus.
it's his story.
Yeah.
Go.
Right? It was, yes, I was organising a
And then
bus.
you just say if it's correct or not. Because I
And
know,
he
I know
goes-
how Michael is. He's a real
So-
estate agent. Yeah.
So he goes to me, and then we were just talking, and then all of a sudden a random question came out of nowhere. What's your background? And I said, I'm Chinese Russian. And he goes, oh, you guys all sound like shwa, 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 shwa. Straight away. And I was like, who's this guy? I've met him for 10 minutes.
Oh, you said that?
He said this to me.
Oh, okay.
He said this to me.
Is that
Within
how you
10
sound?
minutes of any knowing me.
Hang on.
Within 10 minutes of any
Okay.
knowing
Is that
me.
how you sound? Was he lying?
Oh, well, that's how some. Yeah.
I'm joking.
my wife does it to me too.
Yeah?
If I'm speaking to my mum in the background,
So you're Chinese Russian.
Chinese Russian.
He looks at A.
No, you wouldn't be able to guess.
What national is your surname?
Russian. My surname gives it away. Yeah.
Not as a Russian.
Yeah, Pavlov.
When you say it.
Pavlov. Yeah.
So does that mean you like Putin?
He's a good bloke.
Oh, I love him. I actually love Putin.
He's a good bloke.
He's a very good guy.
Yeah.
Do you like him, Dave?
I'll reserve my comment.
No, that's interesting.
Anyways, next topic.
So 5 years of selling proper.
Look, it was 2 years.
Pharmaceuticals?
2 years of, I'll say about a year and a half of sales associate to the team, and then actively going out on my own. And yeah,
Okay, and then you decided to make. Anyway, you
I decided to make a
switch.
change.
Yeah.
Obviously for my own personal reasons.
Yep.
You know, and I've never looked back. I'll be honest with you. I've never looked back.
Good on
Look,
you.
we all treat this. We're all independent agents.
Yeah, of
So we
course.
go out there. We work for ourselves. Whether
Yeah.
it's for a brand or not, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
You know, I look at it as my own business. You know, yeah.
And I know, Dave, me and you spent a long time at our old office, but then you decided to leave and you said you went to Stone first as an employee for someone or for a business, or was it your own business?
Yeah, so that was for about 6 months. And then I decided to open up.
Open up your, and since then you've had your business, yeah?
Yeah, since then.
And has it been the same? Has it been stressful? It's totally different than being a real estate agent.
It's very different.
I think there needed to be more guidance with opening up an office before you open up.
Yeah, I don't think there is any course or guidance or anything. It's just, you know what I did. I did turn to Tony and Charlie a lot for guidance. It's trial and error. You want to make sure that you minimize as much, I guess, mistakes as possible, but it's
Yeah, it's
inevitable.
part of the game, yeah.
Yeah, but you just learn as you go. So Jay, I'd like to know what you actually do in your spare time.
Yeah, what do
because
you do?
And the reason why I ask is because
You guys are, yeah, okay.
our brains, like we said earlier on,
Yeah.
it's so, it doesn't stop. And it's, for some, if not a lot of us in the game, it really takes over a lot of our headspace and you know, our peace, right? So what do you do to unwind?
To be honest, I don't think I unwind. After you asked it like that, I'm thinking about like, what do I actually do? Like after I leave now or after I leave work, what do I do? I just go to another, like my unwinding, I guess, is work. I don't know if that made sense, but it's not just real estate. It's building like typical Lebanese, but like developing and every opportunity that I can try and make money. I think the only day that I have off, I guess, is that Sunday. And that's the Lord's Day where I rest and I go to church. But other than that, I'm just always clicking. My mind is always, I don't know, you guys are the same or not really?
It doesn't stop with kids. Right?
No, it doesn't
Yeah,
stop with kids.
yeah.
You know, look, I mean, the most joyful time for me to go home is if my hours can, as I said, they can consist anywhere from on a Saturday from 8 to 5.
Yeah.
During
Well,
the week,
Monday to Friday as well, yeah.
Monday to Friday, I'm home after 7
Yeah.
without fail.
Wow.
Without fail. So for me to go home and see my daughter, it's the best thing because she waits for me to put her to bed, and that's
cute.
that's my sort of my downtime.
And you guys can literally like unwind when like not thinking about work when that happens?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty good.
You know,
Yes and no.
No, I don't know.
I try not to because I only get that hour. With
I
my
try not
daughter.
to as well.
I only get that hour with my
Just
daughter.
that's the first thing. Yeah, okay.
Because I mean, like, yeah, as every other parent, we have set times that we put our kids to sleep. You know?
Yeah,
some
of course.
people are at 6:30, some people are at 7.
Yeah.
I'm not too strict. I mean, before 8 before
Okay.
8:30 is okay.
You notice that when she stays up, that's it. She's
Oh no, she'll stay up till 9 if I'm not home.
oh really?
She will stay awake
Okay.
until I'm home. That's the best.
Does it affect her the next day?
Oh, big time. It completely ruins the sleep. So
Dave, you were saying as well, like, do you unwind? Do you find yourself like, can you unwind? I know you've got a family and kids as well, and beautiful wife. And then when you have spent a big day at work, can you unwind? And by the way, it's not a bad or good thing. Just can you just like leave it there and
No, I've got to do something else in order to unwind. But I can't.
well,
I
that
just
actually
can't.
made so much sense. When you tell people that you're a real estate agent, what's their first?
I actually don't say I'm a real estate agent.
What are you saying?
I say I sell residential properties.
And you get a different reaction because of that?
They go, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they go, so you're a real estate agent? I said, yeah, I do.
Okay.
And
So
then
after
I've
you-
actually had one person ask me that, why do I say I sell residential properties? And I said, I just don't want to come across cocky. I don't want to come across by saying, because some people could voice it differently and say, I'm a real estate agent, thinking that you're on top of the world, or, you know.
Okay, that's interesting. So you think that's a persona that people think of us?
Look, maybe to some extent, who knows?
Yeah.
Like, you can't, you don't know, you're not, can't
It's
think.
well enough not to tell people that you do real estate.
Yeah, I think it's just an easier way to, you know, just a
Dave, what about
different
you?
approach.
Well, when people ask me, I usually say I'm in real estate, but I ask them straight away, what do you do?
Okay, so you just kind of change the subject?
Throw it
Yeah.
off.
So it's like I've answered your question, but like tell me more about you.
Okay.
So I like
Can
to
I ask
I like
why?
finding out. No, it's just I like finding out more about someone else, whoever I'm
Yeah.
talking with. So
Yeah.
like that person's welcome to ask me more.
Yeah.
But it's like I've stated it, I've answered it, and like
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me more about you.
Yeah,
I'd like
okay.
to find out more
Okay.
about you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yes, but yeah, we do get judged a lot, right, in the game.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
again, like earlier on when we were saying that some can be questionable,
yeah,
and it's true because some will ruin it for the rest of us,
of course.
right? The rest of us, when we're trying to, a lot of us, we are very honest. We're very upfront, transparent. We provide as good as service as possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
It's true. Like
They
what we're
don't-
saying is 100% true.
yeah, but they don't say that because they've had such bad experiences.
Okay. Do you guys prefer the auction method or the for sale method?
Well, let's put it this way: we all came from the same office.
We were taught both. We would prefer one. I don't know if that's well said. I'm not trying to. The question is, do you prefer the auction method over the for sale method? And that's
Auction for residential and villas and townhouses, yes.
okay.
Units,
So
no.
it's for specific.
Yeah,
specific
units, no.
properties.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, in Condell Park, I still hold, thank God for now, I still hold the highest record 3-bedroom villa for 957, and that's
Wow.
unheard of.
Yeah.
Because 4 years ago, we were selling blocks of land in this district for 9 to 950.
Yeah.
Now a 3-bedroom villa is worth 950.
I know.
How was that
I
possible?
can't believe it.
It's insane, and that was through an auction method.
Mm.
So if I didn't take it through an auction method and I sold it via private treaty,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got the extra 57,000.
When I first started real estate, I had an owner who needed to sell, and he needed, I think back then, but he it was a massive block, and he needed 700, and he said just put it on for that 729, and any offer above 7, I'll take. I said to him, okay, look, if you have a few more weeks, let's take it to auction. He said yes, and we went through the auction method and whatever. And the day of the auction, we ended up getting 865,000.
Wow.
And for me, I couldn't kind of sleep because I could have sold it for 7. But if I had sold it for 7, he wouldn't have got that extra 160,000. So that's why I personally like the auction method, because we can't dictate what a buyer will pay.
No.
I don't know if that's something that you guys see or not
Yeah,
see.
absolutely.
I know
No, I get it.
I've been talking with you, but Dave, what do you think? What do you prefer?
I prefer same thing with Mick is with the higher demand properties, with houses, then the auction
Auction
method
is
is
the-
probably the best or most preferred method. It also depends on the vendor's expectations as well.
Okay.
We're not going to just recommend an auction to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it depends on what
If
they're
the
hoping to
expectations
achieve.
are higher than what you think, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But for houses, I think, you guys agree that I think auction is the best method.
Yes.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
if you guys go to sell your houses, how would you sell it?
Auction.
Definitely an auction, yeah.
Would you sell your own house?
Yeah, I would actually.
You would, Dave? Would you?
Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't.
Why not?
I would get too emotionally.
Angry.
No, not angry. It's because I'm Lebanese, not angry. But
He's not Russian, so he doesn't know what it feels like.
No, I think I know you guys say that you have a lot of control, and you do. I've got a lot of control as well. But when it comes to something that I've worked on, like I paid my mortgage and a lot of memories and whatnot, hearing what the buyer says will upset me. Hearing it from you telling me is a different thing. But if a buyer said it straight to me, I'd get really upset with it. That's, I think the Lebanese would come out. I'd want to hit them there. Jokes, I don't hit people.
Oh, but Asians are like that as well. You know, they don't want to hear anything low, right?
It's
They
not
don't
so
want to hear
much-
low feedback, but that's what it is, though.
For me, it's not the low feedback that gets to me. I think because I know, like Dave said, like it's
But low feedback
negotiations.
could consist in everything: layout, room sizes, whatever,
No
sunlight,
problem.
natural, whatever. It could involve anything.
Plus, I do know that it's just for negotiations. So that's my experience talking. Someone, when they give me an offer, anyway, that's just my experience. But like hearing what they're trying to use it to negotiate. But hearing those negativity, if it's my own house, only if it's at my own house, I don't know, I would find I would get upset.
Yeah.
But you guys are very comfortable in selling your own houses.
I don't really care.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm not emotionally attached to it.
It's your house.
Yeah, it's my home, but
Yeah.
it's not my forever home.
We sold.
If I
Sorry.
yeah go on.
No, go.
No, oh no, I was just saying like it's not my forever home. If I built the home and I was there for numerous amount of years, you know, kids grew up there, then it'd be a different story.
Okay.
But where I am now is only for a short term, I guess.
Okay. And in that case, would you then be like, would you sell your own home?
Look, everything I have now, I'd save it for the kids.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
If people are finding it difficult to buy property now,
No, I get it.
how would my girls, you know, in 20, 30, 25 years time purchase a
So
property?
you just did a typical Russian agent then,
Why?
because you veered away from the actual question by answering it like a real estate agent. I'm not saying.
But it's true though. But you'd be the same with your kids as well.
Yeah.
You know, you would whatever you have, you hold
Of course,
on to it for
we
your
would try.
kids.
I don't think anyone wants to actually sell the house. That's, I don't know, my opinion. I think a lot of people will sell because there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, well,
It's to upsize, to upgrade.
Yeah.
You were going to say something before, and then we stopped you
Oh no, I mean,
because you've sold your house. Well,
we've sold a
houses,
couple of times. Yeah, we've sold a few times, but every single time, every single one was most was an auction, and yeah, they were all auctions, and yeah, the feedback does, you know, it got to my wife here and there, but even she, you know, she knows how the game is, you know, like being married to like a real estate agent, they know,
Of course, yeah.
they know what to expect. So
Yeah.
she brushed it off very quick.
He
But
sold my house, you know that.
Is that?
yeah,
And the feedback report he gave
Hey! Did he charge you?
he did.
I had to. But
Get his quarter up. Now I know why he charged me. 'Cause
Oh,
I had
that's
to
so
work for it
funny.
to find
So
out.
funny. Which
But,
house was that?
Huh?
Where?
Edmondson Park. one of the
That's
corner
right. I was,
ones.
I was there at that auction.
You
Yes.
were there.
Yes, you were.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
He got you
sold-
a really good result.
He actually did.
It was above reserve.
It
Record.
was above reserve.
It's like every agent. Record for the area up until the week after.
I don't know. But no, I just think this is important for a lot of people to actually understand.
Yeah.
Because a lot of vendors don't actually realize that they can get as much feedback as possible, right? They can get a whole load of feedback. Like we all provide feedback to our vendors,
Yes.
right? But I really try to emphasize the point that it's not until what happens on the day,
Correct.
right?
That I agree
Whenever
with.
it
Yeah.
stops,
Yeah.
or the auction will always stop somewhere. But that's the only figure that truly matters, right? And that's when they make their decision on what they want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can get feedback. They can read all these reports and hear everything from us, but it's not until they hear that okay, what are we going to do with this figure now?
Yeah.
And that's what I think is important for a lot of owners to understand, right? So I think the more agents that can, I guess, explain that to the vendors, it will put their mind more at ease because the feedback's
And I
feedback.
honestly totally agree with you. At the end of the day, it's up to what happens on the day. You can say whatever. We're not trying to get them to take a price. We're just, again, educating them, letting them know. But when they, like as you said, like when it comes to that point where it gets to the highest price, that's when they decide if they're going to sell it or not. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're talking before about how we get attached to feedback and, you know, if we would sell our own place. and
Yeah,
so
yeah, of course,
forth.
of course. Like, again, speaking about, I still wouldn't sell because as much as I think that I'm in control, and I am in control, but as much as if a buyer said something to my, not emotional, but if a buyer said something to me, I know that he's lying, but because it's mine, I know that I'll react a little bit differently.
That's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
no worries.
Can be a
Have you guys ever had a negative interaction with a buyer?
It was actually a buyer that was calling for a price guide.
Okay.
It was just a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he called up, wanted a guide. We literally just put on the market, right? And I was, you know, we try to get as much feedback as we can after at least some buyers come through the first open because really it's depending on the buyer. But he just, you know, instantly
Snapped?
just snapped, right?
Yeah.
And I guess with the words that came out of his mouth, I snapped back. You know, like, look, I'm a real estate agent, but I'm not going to take shit from anyone because I'm a human as well.
Yeah.
Right? I showed you respect. Treat me with the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we ended up, it escalated very fast. I hung up at him because I knew it was getting really bad, and I called him back and I just actually said, look, I think we started on the wrong foot. I'm sorry for what I said.
Good on you.
And look,
Probably change the whole
if you
dynamic.
like,
Yeah.
I'd love to just start again. And he actually just laughed it off, and we actually had a good conversation after that. Funny enough.
Did he end up buying it?
No.
Yeah.
Never turned up to the property.
I know. That's like what's the price guide? But anyway, Mick?
Yeah, I had one actually a few weeks ago. Very
Interesting.
very similar situation to that.
Yeah.
And he just wanted a price guide, and the conversation went for about 3 minutes, where I just kept saying to him, "You can't."
Can I ask you something? Why didn't you give him a price guide?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
Because
It probably sounds like I'm teasing you right now.
no, because I'm a Russian. I know.
No, like why are we all so persistent not to give a price guide?
Because I want to know more about them.
Good
That's my honest truth. I want to know their situation. I want to know why they're buying, why they're looking in that particular property.
Okay.
Because it gives me a better indication of, is this the property right? Would this be suitable for you? You know, if you're just buying it because you want a big family home, then just be honest with me. Like at the end of the day, look, you know, you tell me something and I'll tell you, look, there's been different feedback.
Yeah, of course.
Because I think it's within your range.
Yeah.
You know,
Dave? Why don't we just give price guides to people?
Well, I've been
Is it because
doing
we're rude?
Hey?
Is it because we're rude?
No. I don't give guides, but I'll tell them what the comparables are.
Okay.
Yeah, because I give them what comparables are, because it's just look, it makes things a lot easier. It makes the whole conversation just
have
go
you always done
smoother.
that way? Or was it just a
I
new
haven't,
thing for you?
yeah, I haven't always done it, but like over the last few years, it's been that way. Because
Interesting.
What's their reaction when you tell them that?
they appreciate it. They really appreciate it because everyone's mostly trying to avoid it, right? So I'll tell them, especially when it's in the first few days or the first week, at least before the first open, that we don't have a guide, right? But because we base it on feedback.
Yeah.
But I'll tell them, look, similar properties, right, have been fetching this much and this much. Why? Because we are all looking at the same thing. The vendors, the bank valuers, the buyers, and us, we're using the same comparables. So whether we're giving them the same data that they're looking at anyway, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, buyers are going to more auctions and they're going through more negotiations than we are, right?
How have you found when you've said it to them like that? How have you found their reaction to be?
Surprise. Yeah.
They're
more
surprised?
Yeah.
Are they more responsive?
They really do appreciate it.
And do they end up coming to the open homes and stuff like that? Okay.
Yeah. So, and you build a much better relationship.
Cool.
Yeah, like straight off the bat. So there's no point. I don't see the point of hiding it when the thing is, you know that they're looking at the same thing anyway,
Of course.
right?
I think it's a very important point.
And the thing is, one thing that we have to remember as agents is that buyers know that we've listed a property and we've used comparables to discuss with our vendors, to discuss a price guide, a price range, and then go hit the market. So really, like, you can't not know what a guide is, what kind of guide or what range it should be sitting in. You know, it's out there. It's basically just stating the obvious.
Yeah. No, like, the way you just explained it, like it's the
Like,
information that you're giving them, they already have.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Every auction that's out there, whether it's us or the thousands of agents, they run properties to auction. On auction day, how do buyers determine what they'll pay for the property?
How do the buyers determine?
How did, on the way to the auction,
Yeah.
right? When they discuss within the family and amongst each other, how do they actually determine what price we'll stop at?
Very, very, very good question. I think that an auction just blows what they're thinking out the door.
Yeah.
It does. But what do they bring to it? What do they bring to an auction?
So they bring what they've been pre-approved for,
Yep.
and they've done all their calculation, their figures to say what it's going to, and if it goes for this price, we'll buy it. If not, if it goes for more, that's it. Yeah.
But most importantly, they bring
How do they
emotion.
position the price? Sorry.
No.
How do they
do you
position
mean?
if they go into 1 Smith Street in,
Yep.
Whatever suburb,
Yep.
and they're on the way to the auction,
Yeah.
and they're discussing, what are we going to pay? What are we going to pay? How do buyers, and we've all bought,
Yeah.
but how did we position what price we're going to pay for the specific
Comparables.
property? Comparables.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
No, that's why I
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I just totally agree with you. So when they, like, not to interrupt you, but when I get called or you get called for a price guide, they have that information.
Yeah.
So when an agent gives a price guide, what about if he's getting it wrong? That's my biggest fear. I don't want to mislead a buyer and give them a low price guide,
Yeah.
which I don't do that anyway.
Yeah.
And then for them to get upset with me anyway, or give them a high one, and for them to say, no, it's going to go for too much.
Yeah. Well, again, that depends on how you convey the
Yeah,
message
of course,
to them.
yeah. That's why personally I like the auction method, because I don't want to really convey that kind of. I'm more like Michael. I guess I just want to get to know that person more. I want to know their situation, because I want to be able to help them further.
Real estate's a contact sport.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, it's the more, I think the more questions you ask, the better the outcome, the better your situation gets for you, especially for the vendor and for the buyer.
Yep.
And that's where it goes back to again asking more questions and just having a better understanding on what this situation's all about.
Yeah. And ask the tough questions. I think
The
asking tough
uncomfortable
questions.
like talks with
Yeah.
people. Like a lot of agents don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I get so many buyers where they ask me, "Oh, if you can't give me a price guide, then you can't help me," and they hang up on me.
Yeah.
And I went, I didn't get to even ask you one question or two. They just hang up on me.
Yeah. But sometimes you can actually help a lot of buyers.
Yeah.
You actually give them a lot more clarity
Yeah, of course.
in their purchase or their purchasing journey through asking very personal and
Do
tough
you guys
questions.
think that because they're getting so agitated that a lot of agents, obviously, because it's simple to us what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's not what agents are about. Is that what it is? Is that why they get so agitated and hang up on you?
Yeah.
Or not you, but me?
I think it's just the fact that there's been a lot of agents out there that have wasted their time. That's where the end.
wasted their time. How?
Just by telling them either a low guide, bring them to the auction, and they've just been completely outbid.
Yeah. I've sat with a lot of owners, a lot of buyers, sorry. A lot of buyers who like this sort of ties in hand with what we were just talking about, where I'll ask them a lot of questions to understand them, right? And get to know them and where they're at. They've got their pre-approval, but can they actually buy something before selling, right? Or do they need to sell first, or are they getting a bridge loan and such and such? Some of them realize that they're actually not in a position to buy something until they actually sell their property, right? And we'll sit down and I'll go through how much they owe on their mortgage, what their repayments are, and then such and such and such, right? And then we'll try to strategize something with them, right? But the thing is, a lot of times they're actually shocked that they didn't know this part.
Yeah.
Because
A lot
they
of people
weren't
need to be guided.
they were never guided before that, right? Even with their broker. Some brokers are great, but some of them just do the deal and say, yeah, you're pre-approved.
Yeah.
Right. So with a lot of the I guess the buyers that we convert to, or I've converted to
of course.
sellers, it's because we've actually broken everything down. Everything. Even when it comes to like auctions. If you're gonna bid an extra 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, what are the extra repayments gonna be?
Yeah.
Right? So they know everything before they go there, right? So, but the thing is, coming back to what you asked, is I found a lot of agents when we sat at the table and called them about these properties, about other properties that they're inspecting or wanting to inspect, these agents don't even pick up the call. They don't pick up, they don't return, and when they do pick up, it's very blunt, very abrupt.
I've noticed
Very
that a lot of agents just answer very bluntly.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah.
It's not professional, or they avoid every single question. I believe you should acknowledge and answer the question, and if you want to ask something on top, do so. But when someone's asking you a question, answer it. A lot of agents don't do it.
Yeah, well, I guess some buyers would say just it's the same thing. We're asking you for a price guide, and like we don't veer away from. I don't veer away from it.
No.
the first thing I want to do is obviously get to know them. But isn't that the same thing that you're saying? That they call us just for the price guide.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
I think some of these buyers are just it's probably unexpected from an agent to be asking these questions because all they want to hear is a guide. So when you're giving them the time of the day, when you've taken their time by asking the right questions, then they've realized that okay, basically, he's doing something right. He's trying to help me.
Yeah.
If you're just gonna pick up the phone, Jim calls and says, "What's the price guide?"
Yeah.
So it's 1-1.
Yeah.
He just hangs up and goes. But I don't know. I don't know his situation.
No, like I said, I actually agree with that. That's how I
Yeah.
do a lot of work.
How's married life?
It's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Is it what you thought it would be?
No. I think a lot of married people say that.
Yeah.
I think just like we have to, price guides. I think a lot of people need to get educated with before you get married. What's ahead?
Marriage, you can't get educated. You just
You learn on the job.
You
Yeah. I think it's very valuable the education for a marriage before someone gets married,
yeah.
and it's something that, as a devout Maronite, we have a pre-marriage class. Not me, but all Maronites who are to get married
Oh, okay.
have to attend a class that goes on for about 7 or 8 weeks. And they talk about everything that's possibly going to happen or all these things. Yeah, yeah. And you learn a lot on the job.
That's it. You learn on the job. I think it's important to learn a lot about yourself and your partner way before marriage, right? And the more you can actually go through that journey of learning, it's not going to be easier, but you know what you're both expecting.
What advice would you both give someone who says, we're going to get married soon? What advice would you give a young man who's about to get married?
Know who you are and know who your partner is. And if we all know them, we all say that we know them, but like really know every aspect of yourself and your partner in every way possible.
Is there any specifics that you can give about knowing me or knowing them, not without obviously naming?
I would say it's more. It's not about knowing them, but I would say your partner would have to be just as supportive towards you as you are towards them. So I don't think I could do real estate if Nat wasn't the way she was, the calming, the patient person. If she wasn't that type of person with the hours that I do, I don't think I could, because I'd know she would be I would think mentally in the back end that what she's thinking, but I know that she knows that I'm doing what I'm doing is for
the family. Yeah.
So she doesn't complain that I come back at 8 o'clock or 8:30. I was at a listing presentation on Tuesday night, and I forgot to tell her. And then she just messaged me, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm listing." I said, "I'm leaving a listing presentation."
Did you list it?
I did.
Oh, good.
And then she gets me, "All good. I'll see you soon." And that was it.
Yeah.
Like it was there was nothing more than that. Even though I said I'll be home after 7, but I forgot to tell her.
I think it's very important. I think a good real estate agent has a great support.
Yeah,
It's very important. I think we've all got great supportive partners.
Yeah.
And that's what's made us really, really good.
I
Otherwise,
think that's what pushes me, and Dave could say the same as well. Angie's always been supportive towards your career all these years as well.
Well, whether it's real estate or anything, it's not even about what we do in real estate, but it's about everything.
Yeah.
Like Angie, you guys both know Angie quite well, right? And she's like, I don't know how, but she's so supportive in every way, and yet she can still hold down the fort at home, And I think, in my opinion, like that's for me, like she's perfect, you know, in every way possible, because I just knew that she knows I've got her back, and I know she's got my back, you know, when if shit hits the fan, you know, to whatever extent, right? But we also know each other in ways where we know where to push, how far to push, how much. But I think most importantly is there's a real respect. You know, you know, each to their own, and I've seen people swear at one another and so forth. I've never once sworn at it.
Yeah.
You know, never once, and I wouldn't dare to.
Yeah.
You know, because she shouldn't be spoken to or treated that
No,
way.
definitely not.
Right? And if anyone did, I'd stand up for her straight away.
Yeah.
Right? But like I was saying before, is you want to try to know them as much as you can, but then you know, you learn on the job, right? You
Yeah.
both do, and you actually learn a lot more about yourself on the job as well, right?
Yeah, I found that.
Through every interaction. But I think most importantly in this time where we are now, because growing up, remember when we were young, our generation when we were young, we had dial up, right?
Remember
We
that?
didn't have
MSN.
Oh,
MSN.
bro. I had the best email, yeah?
Yeah, what was it?
Great Leb _
No, mine was
the
better.
best.
Great
Mine
Russian.
was
What was it?
Horny little devil.
Oh, come on.
No way.
I've met guys at open homes that still give me that as an email, yeah?
Yeah.
No
That's
way,
funny.
I've never heard
It's
of
a
it.
little. I have a little chuckle at that.
Yeah. They still give me that email, yeah?
But that's the thing. Like growing up, we never had any of that, right? But kids nowadays, they have
Yeah.
they'll grab our phones on the kitchen bench and they know how to unlock and go
Yeah.
through so many
yeah,
things.
yeah.
My daughter's 3, she knows how to do it already.
My dad's phone back then was this size,
Yeah.
right?
Motorola.
Yeah, all those Sony Ericssons, right? But the thing is, we
Good old
never.
days. The good
Yeah,
old
yeah.
days.
But we never. The thing is, we never knew. We never had such, I guess, short attention span as the generation now. So if I could give any advice to even my kids or anyone young, and I think it's very important, is you've got to be as, I guess, open-minded as possible, right? Learn to communicate, because a lot of them are just on the screen. Their eyes are glued to the screen nowadays. So there's no communication involved. Before, in the car, if it was road trips when we were 10, and we're talking about back in 1990 something, we would make a game out of trees or cars that go by, right? But nowadays, right, everything's just straight on screens.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Technology.
Yeah.
We all can fall for that trap by giving the child like a screen just to kind of make them go quiet or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you teach discipline to your children? Like, is there a set amount of
I
time
give
they're
it
allowed
time.
to?
Obviously, my daughter she listens to me very heavily.
Yeah.
So if I say no to something, she knows. Just completely stop there. But she also knows how to wrap me around her finger as well. So, you know, like she said to me this morning, she didn't finish her Weet-Bix. And then, even though she said she finished it, and I got upset. I was like, I made that for you because you said you wanted it. I miss you, Daddy. Straight away. You know what I mean? So
That is so funny.
But it's more about being very firm and just.
So do you not discipline, but do you put like rules in,
look,
I guess, or like
if
for screen times and stuff like that?
Yeah, screen time. Look, I'll give her a little bit of screen time, not too much. And if I say that's enough, she'll give it back to me. She won't sit there and sulk and argue or anything. No, she'll just give it back to me, and then we'll just go downstairs and we'll play with puzzles or anything like that, just to make sure.
Get downstairs and watch TV.
No, Russian tales.
No, discipline is hard. It's very hard. Yeah. And it just gets harder.
But you've got 3, so I don't know how you do it. So it's
I don't know how I do it either, to be honest. But you just do it.
I remember when Jordan was first born and Angie made all of these what do you call it? These activities, but knowledgeable activity things. And she would spend all the time. And then Jordan, like even at the age of 2, right, Jordan would just be doing things that I thought a 4-year-old would only do.
Yeah, wow.
Seriously.
It's because there's a lot of effort that Ange and Dave put into Jordan.
Yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
I think it's very important that we, as you know, as parents and as adults transitioning to becoming a parent, I think it's more important to really pay attention to your kids.
Yeah.
You know, and for those who become parents or are becoming parents or are parents, like I'm not here giving advice, but my personal opinion is I really believe that it's so crucial because the time now is just getting worse. You know, kids
Yeah.
are not being guided. Some are, some aren't being guided properly
But
into
I think they're guided
becoming
more
older.
by the screens.
Yeah,
Like not
correct.
what their father says or their mother says, but I think they're guided more by the
Yeah.
what they watch.
Well, I think
Different than our generation.
they're guided a lot by what's on the screen in front of them
Yeah.
and by the peer influences.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the peer influence is what us as parents don't have control over. You can teach them everything that's right. You can have rules and morals and ethics and everything under the sun, but it's luck of the draw when they fall into a certain group of peers at school that you have no control over and they are surrounded by them, what, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours a day, school
Yeah,
days,
yeah.
5 days a week. How do you have much control over that or influence in that? But
And
what you
I
can
would
do,
say we're a good example for that too, because we hung around with people obviously that did certain things that we picked up as well.
yeah.
Just
But what you can do is, and I think most importantly, is you teach them the not just the basics, but you have to really teach your kids now or guide them how to think
Yeah.
and how to feel or slash calibrate themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they can be self-aware of their thoughts and their feelings, that will pretty much lead them into the world of what's out there,
real world,
but
yeah.
much more guided.
Yeah.
Right. So if they hear anything out there or if someone's saying something to them and so forth, they're actually aware instead of reacting. So it's otherwise it's easy to get in fights and so forth nowadays.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there any other advice that you would give them? Like not as a warning, because you can't really warn people,
it's,
Give
it's,
who, sorry?
it's-
like someone who's wanting to get married.
Oh, sorry.
just
Yeah,
be
we
just
digress.
be supportive of
That's
each
all
other. That's all you can really be.
Okay.
There's nothing more to it.
Yeah.
It's more about being supportive. It's just what you put 100% into them, and they'll put 100% into you.
Yeah. But
And that's what I said. Like that's 100%.
Because what you're saying makes sense, right? But there's a big, I don't know if lately, well, actually more recently it's not like this, but 50% of marriages,
Fail.
it's a big percentage.
Well, if you think about it, like a lot of the, I guess, the younger generation, right? They get into workplaces, the workforce. They get into jobs. They don't like it. They leave.
Okay.
Right.
So do you think that's what they think about marriage as well?
It's not just that, but it's the way of thinking,
Yeah.
right? It's just it's not for me. It doesn't work out, or it's getting too hard. Done. I'm
Yeah.
gone. Right. But it's not that. Like, look at our parents.
Yeah.
Right? Through so much, like they had no choice but to stay together or make it work or find a way to make it work
Yeah.
or go through whatever it was,
Yeah.
go through hell and then they make it work.
Yeah.
Right? But that's why you look at the older generations and their answer is, I had no choice but to make it work. And that's how it should be. Right? That's why it comes back to, again, before, is like teach them how to think. Teach them the
So
right
do you
way of
reckon
thinking.
is because they had no other choice but to make it work, or do you reckon that was their choice?
They,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Like they knew it was hell.
Everyone has a choice.
That's right.
Everyone can make a choice, right? But the thing is, they made the decision because they chose not to just let things go easy, right? It's a mindset, right? It's like, no, we're going to work through this, and whatever it is, even if it comes down to your kids struggling at a certain project, right? Their mindset should be, it's tough, it's hard, but I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to make it work. And then if I fail or if it doesn't work out, then fine, right? I've given it everything, but it shouldn't be, it's too tough. It's not for me. Done.
The easy
And they
option is
fold.
always picked for, like, that's what everyone picks, is the easy option.
Just give up.
Just to give up
And
and just
that-
quit and move on.
And then that comes back to a lot of separations.
No.
But look, I'm not going to say that that's exactly what it is, because everyone goes through their
course,
own.
yeah, of course.
You know, we don't know anything about that, but
But everyone prefers the easy option.
That's
and
what it is. Yeah.
There's a lot of hard work that's involved in
Yeah. But
anything,
every
Each,
relationship
yeah.
has their own story.
100%.
You know.
100%.
But persevere.
Yes. Well, persistence beats.
Resistance.
I started in June or July 2020, and I left. The
So it's just been
boys-
just hit 4 years.
just under 5.
I thought this guy was doing real estate for about 20 years.
What?
Do you like wearing a suit every day?
Um,
No, no question. Do you like wearing a suit every day?
no, I'll be honest with
Dave,
you.
do
I
you?
actually don't. But the thing
definitely not.
is, I
Do you think people will judge us when we turn up to an appointment without a suit?
always sell myself first, and the suit doesn't sell me.
Yeah.
It's what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, of course.
It's what comes out of my mouth, and how I'm going to support and
I'll do anything not to wear a suit. Like everything in the world not to wear a suit. I can't stand them. It's me.
Yeah.
You still wear like a
are
lot of
yours
suits?
custom made?
Yeah, they're all custom. We're real estate agents.
Big boy.
We always sell above record.
Mine's from Kmart.
No,
I haven't worn
can't
a
believe-
suit for years.
I can't believe I actually believed him. He actually told me it was Kmart. And I said,
Okay,
oh, really,
yeah,
Kmart?
yeah.
Even he believed it. What do you mean?
It's a nice suit, but
Thanks, bro.
Kmart
Pretty old.
make
It's
good
pretty
suit.
old. It's about 3 years old.
What, like, is it custom made?
No,
Kmart.
Russian Kmart.
No.
Yeah, how long? You haven't worn a suit for how long? I think since you started Mason J.
No, he
Yeah,
wears don't. But when you say suit, do you mean suit like that, or do you mean
Like that, yeah. Full suit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Full suit.
'Cause I've seen you wear blazers and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, blazer, but just a
Button up,
shirt.
yeah, okay.
And like
Yeah.
black pants.
you don't like wearing suits?
No.
Why is that?
It's not comfortable.
Yeah, they are the most uncomfortable things.
this shirt is really uncomfortable. I don't know if you've
But do
seen
you know how
it, but
comfortable
I've
you
moved
look?
my neck so many times. I actually hate this shirt.
I remember we used to have to always have our top
I
button
know,
down.
I know. It
Remember that?
was looking back, it was very military style.
Yeah.
We couldn't wear boots. Say you got boots on, Mick. We had to wear laces, and if we didn't wear laces and top button done up, we had to go home.
We'd be put up straight away.
And we had to shave.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I know. That was the same when I started as well. And then after about a year later, I think it all completely changed.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we could unbutton ourselves and not have
No ties. Yeah.
no ties. Boots. Were able to.
So if you were to hire like a team, yeah, like an assistant, and you're growing, do you want them to wear suits?
No.
Okay. So
None of my guys wear suits.
okay.
It's,
Are they
it's
sorts-
they'll wear similar to what I wear so that it looks uniform,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But I'd rather someone be comfortable,
Yep.
right? Not wear casual, but it's smart attire, professional attire. What would you tell your 20-year-old self now?
That's a good question.
If you could tell
I
them-
actually thought about that the other day.
Yeah, 2 or 3 things. If you had a one-on-one with your 20-year-old version, right? And you just had 2 or 3, I guess, pointers,
Yeah.
what would you say?
I think my 20-year-old self, after thinking about this the other day, not to wait. As simple as that. Just don't wait. If you've got a thought about wanting to do something, whether it be work, marriage, children, whatever it is, don't wait. Don't wait for the right time. I think everything becomes the right time and you adapt to it. That's what I've learned in business, I've learned in family, I've learned in marriage, I've learned in everything. Because I don't want to feel like I've been chasing. And that's to answer your question, that's my advice to a 20-year-old Jairus. What advice would you give to yourself? Because we're all experts in hindsight. So hindsight's like the smartest person. But looking back, how we think now compared to how we thought at 20, different people altogether.
I wish I was a bit more consistent back then.
Consistent with what?
In, I would say, my work ethics. I was
Okay.
probably at my 20-year-old was all about just having a lot of fun,
Yeah,
you know. But it's expected at that age. You can't take that away.
of course.
But if we could predict what we're going through in today as a general life thing, I would have been a bit more consistent. career options or investing, or that way I have things to fall onto.
It would have helped a lot.
fall
Yeah,
back on. Yeah, of course. That's probably what I would,
Yeah,
to be a bit more consistent.
I like that one.
And make smarter choices, But you make these.
That's
You-
the
you
hindsight
make-
talking.
you make
That's a
dumb-
hindsight talking.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
no, but you make dumb
Yeah.
choices for a reason. Because that way, your decisions that you make at your early age, you pass it on to your kids. Just like David said, you teach them things that not to do.
Yeah.
You've been through those experiences already.
Of course. Yeah.
So now it's in my care of duty to make sure that my kids are going to be set up, and so that way they don't have to go through
Well, yeah,
as
yeah,
hard as what we're going through.
yeah.
Because our parents have gone through it. Your dad worked numerous of hours. My dad was a 7-day for about 15 years,
Yeah, right.
consistently as a gyp rocker. But and then he
That's
dropped
where
it down.
the
That's where
Chinese
the Russian
Russian.
comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, but he did that for.
Is he still doing it?
No. I've retired him a long time ago now. His fingers are all bent, his legs are all mangled and everything. So, but in saying that as well, I watched my dad work so hard
Yeah.
for numerous of years, and it only took me to a certain age that I actually realized how hard he went through all that to give us what we have today. So,
It's true. Dave?
definitely make the right decisions.
I think for me, it's very similar. It's being more consistent in I guess the amount of effort it's put into work, but travel more.
Really?
Yeah, I think if I when my kids do become adults, and even if they get married, I would definitely advise them to travel as much as they can, like see the world as much as they can. Yeah, before having kids.
Yeah.
Like you want to enjoy, you should really explore. I mean, you're married to someone, or
Yeah.
if you're not, right? But if you are, like
Exploring the world
go
with
see
that
the world
person.
with that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Like travel as
Yeah.
much as you can and see everything before you start a family. And yes, you can take your kids to travel as well, right? Later on or as they grow. But I think there's a very important window that
You travel with your
that's-
kids, Dave?
Yeah,
How's that?
tough.
Tough how? Like, it's obvious.
Well,
but
we've got 3, so
yeah.
we've got to keep an eye on all 3 at any given time.
Yeah.
Right, and we've got to attend to all 3 and
Yeah.
different personalities. They're fighting or they're whinging or whatever. We've got to nurture them by the second.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but safety is priority. Their well-being. So, if we're out, we're not the types to stay in the hotel. Like as soon as it hits sunset, right? Or sorry, sunrise, like breakfast
you
and
guys are
out,
out, yeah.
right? And then
That's awesome. Yeah.
so we'll spend as much time out as possible. But
Same?
because of that,
Travel a lot with your kids?
Oh,
there's
look,
a lot of work.
no, look, traveling alone with kids is a lot of work. I mean, I've only taken Olivia back to Singapore. And
Yeah.
I've taken her to Fiji, and she's been a nightmare. She has been a nightmare.
You know what I've
She
noticed
just-
with talking, yeah? I'm not saying because it's his persona, but Dave's like, it is what it is. Like, but Olivia just tortures you.
yeah, of course she does, because she knows she can get away with me, because that's what daddies are like when it comes to the girls.
Yeah.
David knows that. He's got 2 boys and he's got Amelia, but I can guarantee now, when Amelia wants something, there's going to be times where he'll probably. I would
do you
say
have a favourite?
70% of the times he says yes to Amelia.
Sorry.
I would say 70% of the times you would say yes to Amelia.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. It's
So it's true, like daddy's
without-
girl. Like,
It's
Yeah,
just
100%.
different. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
hits-
just very different.
It hits very different.
that's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, So, but yeah, even on the first, we took Olivia to Singapore for the first time in 2000, end of 2022. She was a year and a half years old, and she just kept fucking walking up and down the aisle, and I had to go with her. And Nat and I said to her, like, Nat and I, we don't ever argue. We don't ever argue. We really do. We don't swear at each other. We don't.
Yeah.
But she frustrated me as much as I frustrated her, because she didn't want Olivia sitting on the floor. And I just said, don't worry about it. Who cares? Just let her sit on the floor. She goes, no, it's so dirty, this and that. I go, she's a kid. Don't worry about it. Kids are meant to touch things and get
Of course. That's
lick the
funny.
wall or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. They do some dumb shit, but yeah, no, she drives me nuts, especially on the plane because you're playing. You're in your crowd. You're very crowded. You're in a cozy position. You're
Yeah.
very limited what you can do. You can't run around too much, so kids get bored. So
And it depends where you take them as well.
Yeah.
Like the reason why we started camping during COVID, during the lockdown, right? Like a lot of that was
Interesting,
like
yeah.
a big eye opener for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
oh, you took the kids camping? Oh, that's right, you did too.
yeah, that's when we
Is
started
that when you discovered it?
everything. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So cooking, camping, this and that, the other. But I think it's important for kids to be able to travel, and it's what you make of it. It's
Of course.
what's the norm that you're really creating within your family.
Of course.
You know, some people are too afraid to travel. Some people are reluctant to. Some people don't care. Right? Some people are all for it with their kids. I think it's really what you make of it.
Yeah.
You know, and just deal with it. You're gonna deal with it some way
That's,
somehow.
no, it's true. It's well said.
But my advice to you is when it's your time, God willing,
Thank
right?
you. Yeah.
Take them to kid-friendly places.
And when you say that, what do you mean by kid friendly?
Fiji.
Okay. Because they're better to look after them there, or
Oh, it's just more, I would say, it's not as overly crowded.
okay.
Do you know what I mean? I find Singapore quite kid-friendly. Some people find Bali quite kid-friendly.
Yeah. I was gonna. Bali.
So
Yeah.
it's just, You go to Japan, oh my God, forget about it.
Really?
I took Jordan and Nathan to Japan.
Yeah, I know. Jordan would have been like 6-8 months, I remember.
No,
was
that was Ethan. Ethan was 6 months. So Jordan was about 3. Yeah. Oh no, Jordan was 2.5 or something.
Yeah.
How was that? All right?
Hey?
Because he said Japan's like no.
No, because the thing is,
No, it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
no. Look, I've heard different stories where because Japan's like there's a lot of walking involved as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like you don't catch cabs over there,
Yeah.
so you got to catch the trains
Okay.
consistently. So there's a lot of walking involved.
Yeah.
Around. It can get a lot.
So there's no Uber.
Kids.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, there probably is now. Yeah,
But the thing is, Japan, it's very cultural, and there's
That's
a lot
awesome.
of shrines. Shrines are like temples, right?
Okay.
And the thing is, these temples,
Yeah.
they're not like these temples here.
Yeah.
We're talking about it's like the size of, it's like a quarter of a
Acreage.
suburb. Yeah.
acreage.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking about a few
Huge.
acres, right?
Huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're massive.
Not just
And
a
you
few,
walk
actually,
lot, and you
heaps.
walk a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
You walk a lot.
Just to walk from
You walk.
just to walk from one corner to the other corner of one shrine. I remember it took us like 5 minutes,
Wow.
right? That's a lot of walking, just constant walking.
Yeah.
But it's just what you make of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you go back to Japan?
Yeah, of course.
Good. I actually really want to try it.
We should go one day.
We should.
You and Steph should go. You'll love it.
I think that's the next trip we're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Japan.
Japan's amazing.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
I've
Bali
recently
is
just changed my, what do you call it? My
Lifestyle.
yeah,
diet.
no, not lifestyle,
Habits.
but I mean, I've always been into weightlifting, but not as a bodybuilder type. Just
Yeah.
basically just a form of exercise.
Yeah.
So my last year was consistently. I took about a year and a half off up until March this year. So I've just recently got back into the gym again.
Okay.
So my day consistently wakes up at 4:00. I'm at the gym at 4:30, and
Do you seriously wake up at 4?
yeah, I do.
Wow.
You want to see my alarm clock?
No, I believe you.
It's 3:50 actually. So,
Does that mean you have to go to sleep now?
no, but it gives me it boosts my day. It really
good.
does. Yeah.
And no more alcohol? Like you've just
No, I haven't drank. I haven't touched beer for. I'm not
Are you a
I'm
beer drinker?
I'm a big beer drinker.
Because I know Dave used to. You train a lot. Do you still train? And do you? Oh, sorry, not only trained, but you wake up at like you're a 4:00 waker.
Yeah, I've messaged him in like
That's
months
mad.
ago, but I haven't.
You should try it.
Yeah, I know. 4:00. That means I have to sleep at about 8.
No, you don't. I still go to bed at 9.
It depends on
9:30.
it depends on your quality of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have like 10 hours of shit sleep,
No, it's true.
Yeah.
you know, but you can have 4 hours of deep quality sleep, which I'll never have. But that would actually really help you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it depends on your sleep.
So big suggestion is 4:00 wake ups.
No, look. I mean, I'm an early bird because I choose to. That's my lifestyle because I get up early in the morning. I go straight to the gym. And then I'm at work for the next 10, 11 hours.
Yeah.
And then I come home, but I still have energy for my daughter. That's the most important part.
But you know what? I mean, with like we talk about waking up early, right? And we're so busy every day that we forget. We give everything to the kids. We give everything to our vendors, buyers, work, our friends, whoever, mum and dad, and so forth. You completely forget to give time to yourself,
100%.
right? Your own well-being.
100%.
Yeah.
So really, that waking up early,
Is that time for yourself?
you're actually giving time to yourself to actually,
It's
I
my
guess,
me time.
recalibrate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it is as well.
Yeah. And it depends what, you don't have to go to the gym, right? You can meditate or do whatever.
Play golf.
Play golf at 4 a.m. Yeah. But it just
No,
depends.
but it's so true how you said it just then. Like we spend all day giving everything to everyone else, but that's the time we can give like something for yourself.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think I want to start waking up before.
Oh,
Think of sleep.
Yeah.
Think of sleep. This is what I learned a long time ago.
Yeah.
Sleep isn't something that's to end your day. Think of sleep as something to start the next day.
Okay.
Right?
I like that one. Yeah.
Your sleep is going to depend on how your next day is going to be. So it's actually the first part of your next day. Whereas a lot of people think of, all right, now I'm going to end my day now.
Yeah, well, that's so true.
Whether it's 9, 10, midnight, right? But if you really change the way you look at it, it's like, well,
I actually really like it, to be honest. I really like it.
do I really want to start my day shit next tomorrow or not?
Yeah.
Right? So it will start it.
yeah, I agree with that.
That's your Kickstarter there,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I actually really like it. I can't wait for God willing tomorrow. So I want to get to sleep now.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, man. Like
But
I really like it though. I swear to God.
Yeah, but a lot of people they say, oh look, when I get home, put the kids to bed,
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
everything, then I'll train or then I'll
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
stretch
yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're giving yourself what's left of you,
Yeah, you're
right?
right.
But whilst you're at, you don't go, releasing, I guess, frustration or whatever, anything. You treat your colleagues and your friends and everyone well. Then you go home and what's left, a lot of people give the rest to the family, but it shouldn't be that way, right? Your family's been waiting for you all day.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going home and just giving them what's left. You should be giving them the same, if not more, much more than what you give to your vendors, your buyers, your friends. And
No, honestly, Dave, I really like that.
and then
like that, yeah.
you should also be giving yourself the same,
Yeah.
because we make sure that these are charged much more than we are, mentally, physically, emotionally, right? So why the fuck
making
do
me
we
think
treat
now.
this so well?
Yeah. No.
What? You got to go gym in the morning?
No, just like how he's explaining it.
Who was your alarm clock back then?
Dave.
Yeah. Wake me up in the morning.
Yeah, we used to
Every
try,
morning, phone call.
yeah. About 3, 4, 5, 10 times maybe he would call.
Then I'd make sure.
All
you
right,
got the
cuz
gym.
I'm up. And I go
get up, eh?
no, I'll hang up on him. I'm like, get back.
And you still can't get up now until today.
No,
the same?
no. I'm not that bad.
Dad wakes you up 5 times now.
No. I'm fine. I don't know why you want an exact time. It's not 4. It's not.
No, but in all seriousness as well, definitely mental health is very important.
Yeah.
Especially if, like you said, that time to yourself is very important. And that time to myself in the morning gets me throughout the day, and it gives me the energy to come back and still be a father to Olivia, and be a husband to my wife.
Yeah.
And like Mick was just talking about Olivia before. It just made me think about the kids as well. Like, I train because, not that I try to bulk up or anything, but I just try to stay fit. So I guess I can
Be proactive.
be proactive, but I don't want to get to that stage where my kids are 10, 8, 10, 12, 15 years old, and I can't keep up with them in a short running race.
Yeah.
Or I can't even lift them up because my back is so sore, from bad posture, whatever.
Put it this way: did your dad ever? Did you play sports when you were a kid? So I played basketball.
Okay.
Right? Even just simple basketball, like I
Yeah.
played for school and whatnot. But My dad never had the time to come and watch,
Yeah.
or even watch me down the road where I grew up in Watergrove. Right, there's a basketball court just literally just a minute down the road from my place.
Yeah.
He would never come watch because why? The guy would be up, tired as dog shit. He doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I guess where I just heard you say, I don't want to be that parent where I just don't have that time for my kids.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of people will scroll through this for half an hour instead of that extra half an hour with the kids or for themselves. You know, a quick rowing session or something. You know, squats. Try doing squats for 15 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Right? You'll transform in no time.
I think the best time to do all of that is the first time when you wake up. That's the most time you're going to have for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's going to help you with the.
Oh, it's a struggle street for the first month.
Yeah.
I struggled again for the first month.
Okay.
It took.
And it's become the norm now.
It's the norm now. I either wake up before my alarm
Yeah.
most of the time, or I wake up when my alarm wakes me.
Okay.
Just
If you can get your circadian rhythm going like that, it will automatically switch.
Yeah.
But if you can do that, oh man, like it changes your mind so much, and you start being more you get more things done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if my alarm wakes me up, it just means I'm having a deep sleep. Truly. So if I wake up before my alarm, it just means that it doesn't mean I've had a shit sleep. It just means I've had like quality sleep, but not as quality as I would have liked it. So, but still, I push myself to get up and, hour and a half at the gym, and then I come home, get my daughter ready,
And then boom, beautiful.
back to work,
Back to work.
back to
Door knocking.
yeah.
Back to price guides. No, I actually really like what you both just said. It's very interesting. It's good. I've got a lot of memories with Dave.
I know you do. I have a lot.
I went through my phone the other day, and I don't know if you've remembered or if you've forgotten when Angie first bought you your first bike.
Ojana.
Ojana, yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got that video.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
please send it to me.
I will load because I've got it on iCloud, but I'll send it to you. Yeah. So she bought him a bike.
Was it Jigsaw?
No, she bought me a Yamaha R6.
Best thing ever, yeah.
It was the best surprise. Oh. What was your first impression of me when you first met me though? Because you veered off that at the start of the.
I tried to veer
podcast.
off it, but he tried to come back to it. No, I was young, dumb, and
Remember when you drove into the car park that day, and I was with Tony.
what car was I driving? A Hilux.
The Hilux, yeah.
Look, I was a real estate agent with a workmate. Like, don't worry,
Yeah.
I was a mess. Because I didn't know. Again, I learned this from Tony. You fear what you don't know. No, I didn't know him. I didn't know him. So like, he's like, I'm driving in. He's like, beautiful. David smiling. I'm like, why is this guy smiling at me for?
No, like I've really enjoyed being here.
Have you both enjoyed
Likewise,
it?
yeah.
You guys have been beautiful. Thank you. And I've like, there's all these questions that I thought I was going to ask you. I didn't even ask any of them.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And hopefully again soon.
Yeah. Let us know when.